Have you ever wondered why French cuisine is considered one of the finest in the world? It's a question that has intrigued gastronomes and casual diners alike. From the delicate pastries to the robust wines, French cuisine is globally admired for its sophistication and quality. It's not just about the food on the plate, it's about the meticulous attention to detail, the balance of flavors, and the harmonious presentation that makes every meal a work of art. The French people's passion for food goes beyond mere sustenance. It's deeply ingrained in their culture, a celebration of life itself. Meals are not rushed but savored, conversations around the table are cherished, and the joy of sharing good food with loved ones is at the heart of their gastronomic tradition. This reverence for food and the art of dining sets French cuisine apart, making it a fascinating subject of study. Now, to understand the magic behind French cuisine, we need to delve into its rich history. The history of French cuisine dates back to the Middle Ages. This was a time when meals were not just about feeding oneself, but also about showcasing one's wealth and power. The more elaborate and sumptuous the banquet, the more influential the host was perceived to be. It was during this era that lavish banquets became a common sight in the courts of French nobility. These feasts were elaborate affairs, featuring multiple courses of meat, fish, and fowl, often accompanied by a variety of sauces and a wealth of spices. Spices played a significant role in Middle Ages French cuisine. They were a symbol of wealth as they were expensive and difficult to obtain. The use of spices like saffron, cinnamon, and nutmeg in French dishes became a status symbol, a way to display one's prosperity and influence. But the Middle Ages was just the beginning of the evolution of French cuisine. As we moved into the Renaissance period, there was a significant shift. French cooks began to look beyond their borders for culinary inspiration, and it was during this time that the influence of Italian cuisine began to make its mark. The Renaissance was a time of discovery and exploration, not just in the realms of art and science, but in the kitchen as well. French chefs began to experiment with Italian cooking techniques, ingredients, and dishes, infusing their own culinary traditions with Italian flair. This fusion of French and Italian culinary philosophies led to the creation of new dishes and the refinement of existing ones, further enriching the landscape of French cuisine. However, it was in the 17th and 18th centuries that French cuisine truly began to take its modern form. The influence of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance had laid a solid foundation, but it was during these two centuries that French cuisine began to develop its unique identity, one that would eventually influence culinary traditions around the world. In the 17th century, France experienced a culinary revolution. This wasn't just about a new way of cooking or a trend in food, it was the birth of haute cuisine, the high art of French cooking that we know and adore today. Imagine the era, a time of grandeur and elegance, where the French court was the epicenter of fashion and culture. It was also the birthplace of haute cuisine. This was when cooking went from being a mere necessity to an art form, a symbol of status and refinement. Two chefs in particular stand out from this time, François-Pierre La Varenne and Marie-Antoine Carême. La Varenne, during the reign of Louis XIV, eschewed the heavy, overly spiced dishes of medieval times. Instead, he championed natural flavors, pioneering techniques for making sauces and stocks that form the backbone of French cuisine even today. His cookbook, Le Cuisinier François, was a sensation, spreading these innovative ideas far and wide. Then came Marie-Antoine Carême, often referred to as the King of Chefs and the Chef of Kings. He took haute cuisine to new heights in the early 19th century. Carême was not just a cook, but an architect of food. He created intricate and elaborate dishes that were as much a feast for the eyes as for the palate. His influence extended beyond the kitchen, with his writings helping to standardize French culinary practices and codify the recipe format we still use. But it wasn't just about fancy dishes and elaborate presentations. Haute cuisine represented a shift in mindset. It embodied the French appreciation for the finer things in life, the artistry in everyday activities, and the joy of sharing good food with loved ones. It was about elevating the act of eating into an experience, a celebration. Their contributions were pivotal, but the evolution of French cuisine didn't stop there. The spirit of innovation and the pursuit of perfection continued, leading to the French cuisine we know and love today. But that's a story for the next scene. The 20th century brought about significant changes in French cuisine. No longer was the emphasis on elaborate, intricate dishes that required hours of preparation. Instead, a new era dawned, one that celebrated fresh ingredients and simpler preparations. This shift was not sudden or accidental. It was a deliberate move by chefs who wanted to bring the focus back to the essence of food. These culinary artists were not interested in masking flavors with heavy sauces or spending hours on intricate presentations. They wanted the food to speak for itself, to let the quality and freshness of the ingredients shine through. Among these trailblazers, two names stand out: Auguste Escoffier and Paul Bocuse. Escoffier, often called the king of chefs and chef of kings, revolutionized French cooking by simplifying and modernizing traditional French culinary techniques. He believed in the beauty of simplicity and the importance of quality ingredients. On the other hand, Paul Bocuse, often regarded as the father of culinary art in France, pushed the boundaries of traditional French cuisine. He embraced innovation and wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo. Bocuse was instrumental in the rise of Nouvelle Cuisine, a movement that emphasized lighter dishes, innovative presentations, and a focus on natural flavors. Nouvelle Cuisine was a bold departure from classic French cooking. It was about breaking down the old rules and creating something new, something different. It was about celebrating the natural flavors of ingredients and not hiding them under heavy sauces or complex cooking techniques. This shift towards simplicity and freshness has had a profound impact on French cuisine. Today, you'll find a strong emphasis on seasonality, quality ingredients, and a balance of flavors in French cooking. You'll find dishes that are simple yet sophisticated, dishes that are a true testament to the skill and creativity of the chef. This brings us to the French cuisine we know and love today, a cuisine that's rich in history and tradition, yet constantly evolving and pushing boundaries. A cuisine that's as diverse and beautiful as the country it comes from. Today, French cuisine continues to be a symbol of culinary excellence. A gastronomic powerhouse, it remains ever evolving, embracing change while staying true to its roots. Central to this evolution are the currents that flow through the culinary landscape today. One such current is the focus on locally sourced ingredients. From farmers' markets to the kitchens of the finest restaurants, French cuisine today is deeply intertwined with the terroir. This concept, which translates to a sense of place, is the belief that the characteristics of a particular region, including its soil, climate, and sunlight, are expressed in its produce. This focus on locality ensures that each dish not only tantalizes the palate but also tells a story of its origin. The fusion of French cuisine with international flavors is another exciting trend. Globalization and cultural exchange have brought diverse ingredients and techniques to the French kitchen. Whether it's incorporating Japanese umami flavors or blending Middle Eastern spices, this fusion has led to a delightful symphony of tastes and textures that still retain that quintessential French touch. Yet, amidst these trends, the importance of regional dishes remains unwavering. These dishes, often passed down through generations, are the beating heart of French cuisine. From the hearty cassoulet of Languedoc to the delicate quiche Lorraine, the diversity of regional dishes reflects the rich tapestry of French culture and history. Each dish is a testament to the region's unique identity and its people's relationship with the land and the seasons. At its core, French cuisine is more than just food. It's a celebration of the ingredients, the techniques, and the traditions that go into creating each dish. It's about the time spent kneading dough, the patience in simmering a sauce, and the joy in sharing a meal. Whether it's a simple baguette or a Michelin-starred meal, the essence of French cuisine lies in its respect for ingredients and the art of preparation. It's a culinary tradition that continues to inspire and delight, one plate at a time. So, what makes French cuisine so special? Well, we've embarked on a captivating journey, tracing the roots of this culinary art form. From its humble beginnings, we've seen how French cuisine evolved over time, reflecting the changing tastes and trends of society. We delved into the birth of haute cuisine, a turning point that forever changed the landscape of French gastronomy, thanks to the influential chefs who dared to innovate and elevate. We've also explored the modernization of French cuisine, where simplicity became the new sophistication. Here, The focus shifted from complex techniques to the quality of ingredients, a trend that continues to dominate today. In current times, French cuisine remains a dynamic and evolving entity, adapting to modern palates while still paying homage to its rich history. Its essence lies in the perfect blend of tradition and innovation, always striving for culinary excellence. In essence, French cuisine is a delightful journey that tells a story of culture, history, and a deep love for food.